Chapter 23. In school, banners start appearing in the halls. Riverfest homecoming. I guess the big thing was who was going to be voted king and queen. Leland Farrell, our quarterback, was one of the candidates. I imagine Miko would be there the next year too. The thing of interest to me was the game. Every so often at the home games, I kind of wish Abuji and Oma were there to see me play. I mean, everyone else's parents were. Miko's dad cheered so much at the last one that his voice was all hoarse over the intercom the following Monday. I would like to think that Abuji's attitude toward football would change if he sit down and actually watched a game. But it but I didn't know that for sure. At least I had Jong sitting in the band rooting for me, and Miss Knudsen hollering from the front row. The day of the game, I could barely sit through class. After freezing through 2 days and watching game tapes all week, I just wanted to go out on the field. At dinner, Miss Knudsen talked about how exciting the game was going to be, perhaps not realizing that that was a subject best not discussed when Abaji was around, as he was tonight. Young left the house with me. The band people had to get there early to antifreeze their instruments. It was going to be a cold night. Be careful walking in the dark, Oma said to us. Abuji stood behind her like a shadow and watched us go. Everyone has his own pre-game ritual. Leland sits in the shower in the dark and makes funny humming noise like Miko listens to math about Mozart on his Walkman and won't talk to anyone. Jimmy won't shut up. Ron passes the floor like a zoo animal that's going to start beating at the bars of its cage any minute. Me? I do what I did before soccer games. Breathe really slow, meditate a little, and think about what I might be able to do in the game. Coach walked into the room, bringing us back into the here and now. Listen up, he said. You know the drill. Little Moon has a loose offense but an excellent defense. So lineman, you push up in the holes. We really have to drive through. You have to hold that line. The guy to watch is their running back, Jokic, number 17. He's fast. And remember, the whole town's watching and counting on you. Don't let them down. Vaguely outside, we could hear the first strains of our school song. Let's go, coach. Put his hand out. We all crowd around him, touched hands and yelled, Miners! Before we exploded out the door into the lights. The ref had handed the football and tea to me. I love the kickoff. It's a little moment of glory. Tonight even the breeze seemed to be waiting as I dug in my cleats. The line charged with me as I ran. I butted and kept going, full steam. Coach said he liked the way I attacked everything I did. Kicked off, but still ran for, and sometimes made the tackle. The evening sky turned from a dark pale blue, a color hard to explain if you haven't seen it, to bright purple. It didn't take us long to get the ball back. The coaches called for the streak and curl play. The running back ran straight up the flat into the end zone, curled back, and snagged Leland's pass, dipping back into the end zone for the touchdown. The band cranked out a fight song. Coach motioned me to go out. I blasted the ball practically before the Little Moon Pirates even moved. The ball went end over end, right through the uprights. We are. There was a shrill noise, like the cry of a strange bird. Strange, yet familiar. It was Young's flute. She was blasting a C note in celebration. When we were on defense, the coaches kept calling the blitz because Rum could run right through the nail the quarterback. On third down, Rome sacked him. The poor slob was taken off the field on a stretcher. Kearney patted Rum's butt and handed him a skull decal for his helmet, where he already had two. Rum slapped it on right away and beat his chest. "Bet get back in there," said Coach Nicholson. Coach sent me in as a strong safety. I was so pumped. I could feel a pulse beating in my neck as I ran onto the field. "Down, set." The Pirates handed off and the bodies collided. The running back was headed right into my zone. He had the ball. He came up on me like a freight train, arms pumping like pistons. I leapt after him. His knees knocked me in the jaw, but I held on with everything I had. His scores were like music. We held them. "Nice job, Kim." Coach patted my back. "Beautiful tackle. You're a tough little bastard," added Kearney. I glowed, my face steaming in the frosty air. At the end of the third quarter, we were ahead 14-6. On fourth down at the Pirates 20, the coaches decided to go for a field goal. Miko caught the snap. I was just following through the kick when I saw the green of a Pirates uniform rushing at me. How he get through? I heard a crunching noise, and then I hit the ground. I was going to tell that pirate enough to get off me, but then I realized I had no voice, and that I couldn't breathe. I'm not sure how coach when I was in distress, but he ran onto the field. "Can you get your helmet off, Jan?" He touched my arm gently, like you might a baby. He took out my mouth guard. I wanted to breathe, but something hurt really badly, really sharply, like someone was sapping me in the side with an electric cattle prod. "Medical!" he yelled for Larson. "Can you breathe?" The magic question. I shook my head. Sledgehammers were starting to pound my temples. "Okay, Chan." Larson's voice. "Try to sit up a little if you can." I strengthened it. There was a burning, sticking feeling in my side. I doubled back over. "It might be a rib," Doc Larson said to Coach. "Chan, try to sit up as much as you can. Breathe slowly." My breath started coming back in short little spasms. It was like being in the ocean when waves keep knocking at you. I needed more air. I gulped, yerked, wheezed. I sounded like a cow with emphysema. Emphysema. Whatever was wrong with my ribs, I was glad to be able to breathe again. I just got the wine knocked out of me. That's all it was. When coach asked me to stand up, I did. Cheers flowed down from the stands, and I saw from the scoreboard out still made the field goal. I wondered if the guy who hit me was going to get a skull. Doug Larson took me to the hospital, where an X-ray revealed I had bruised my ribs, but not cracked any of them. He said I was still good to go. Lucky. He wound some gauzy junk around my torso and told me not to let my girlfriend hug me too hard. I was psyched. I would still be able to go to the dance. I had to drop me off at high school so I could take half a shower. The guys all cheered when I showed up in the locker room. They were all laying around in a sea of pats and stinks and smiles, so I knew we won. "Glad you're okay, Jan," said Coach, as I was saying. "Well, we that much closer to state. It gets hard from here, not easier. Everyone's going to challenge us for the title, so we got to do what we've been doing and double it. We're going to have a conditioning workout tomorrow at 8, said Kearney, so go home early and get some sleep." "Uh-huh," said Leland. He gave us a look, like, "Yeah, right." The coach settled the kick Burger's butt. Miku informed me later. The power guy got a roughing penalty, but the coaches aren't letting Jimmy play blocker anymore because he can contain. "Whatever," I said. At this point I was believing more that Jimmy didn't cut the mustard than that he was letting people into Gizme. "Gotta pull your weight around here," Alport declared as he opened a new 3-pack of Fruit of the Lumps. Neon this, huh? Snipe Leland. Some cocky wiggy thinks he's gonna see some action tonight. That's for me to know and you to find out, said Miko, with a sly grin. Maybe I just ran out of a clean once. Who are you going with? Cindy Gray. Oh, that girl. She'll do it with anyone, said Ron from the other side of the room. I mean, even more than the rest of the cheerleaders. Believe me, I know. Krieger, you are so full of it, Miko said. No girl would want to touch your hairy butt. Miko patted some blood onto his face. I wish I had enough whiskers to shave. You and your ribs ready to go, buddy? He put his hands up for a high five. Slap! I was ready. The school dance reminded me of one of those after-school specials on television. There were streams all around the gym punching a ball, and chaperones, corny to the max. Maybe dances at my school were like this, but no one I knew had ever gone to one. Corny or not, it was worth it to see Rainy in a slinky black dress with a blue trim that exactly matched her eyes. Man, it was worth it. Miko dragged me into the bathroom first. He bought some booze in trill size shampoo bottles. We stood in the large handicapped stall and downed them. The bottles still tasted of soap. I think it was a mistake to bring Cindy, said Miserable. Now she thinks I like her, when all I wanted to do was come to the dance. You don't like her? I said. Now I could distinguish between all the blonde cheerleaders. She was the one with the interesting ice cream cone eating technique. She's just too enthusiastic. So, what are you going to do? Stay in the bathroom all night? Mick wrapped an arm around my neck. It felt as heavy as an anaconda. You're a cool cruiser, Chan. My whole life was changed because of you. He was getting drunk. I took the bottle away, pretending to drink it myself if I sneezed. I accept bubbles of pear to come bleeping out. Come on, let's go dance this stuff off. Rainey was an awesome dancer. I was merely okay. For all my soccer and Tono do prowess, I couldn't quite get my feet to do what I wanted them to do when out on the dance floor. I liked it when they played slow songs because I got to hold her, and I didn't have to move around as much. Look who's with the sausage queen, said Ram, just loud enough for us to hear. He was with one of the cheerleaders with the big boobs. Get alive, I said, pulling Rainey closer. Sometimes if you get happy enough, even totally butt wipes don't bug you. He's in the worst kind of person, Rainey whispered to me. Dumb and with muscles. Don't forget evil, I said. She laughed, fell looser in my arms. I love everything about this girl. Her teeth, her heavy lashes that gave her a sleepy, dreamy look, her hair. How come we didn't go to your house for pictures? She asked. Apparently for Riverfest, the whole tradition was to go to everyone's houses and manufacture Kodak moments in our four different living rooms. We only did 3. My excuses was going to be that Oma and Abaji were both working at the store, which they probably were, but somehow the words wouldn't come out. Do you not want your parents to meet me? I sighed. It's not always combined to date 10 intelligent prospect girls. Oh, I briefly threw a list of other possibly cover-ups. Then I give up. Lane can be a lot of trouble. Only 2 things might bother them. You're not Korean and you're a girl. And, oh, she said, my parents don't want me to date until I get to college, and then it's got to be a Korean girl. Oh, she looked disappointed. You'll meet them someday, I told her, pulling her a little closer, even though a fast song had begun. We just don't always see eye to eye on stuff, specifically me and my dad. All I can do is ask you to be patient, I guess. I understand, she said. We ended up dancing more and more into the shadows away from the center of the dance floor. I pushed my head towards hers in the dark. She was exactly the right height. I heard the sea in my ears. It's strange how life moves in fits and starts. During the first day of school, minutes passed agonizingly slowly. Now, as we kissed, time was a bullet train hurling through the back of a tunnel.